recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, gentlemen, thank you for your service to our country. Mr. McConnell, China and Russia are significantly expanding their nuclear arsenals. How is the NNSA adjusting its stockpile stewardship and modernization priorities to maintain a credible deterrence against both near-peer competitors simultaneously? How does the growing parity between Chinese and U.S. nuclear arsenals impact the ability of the U.S. to maintain that nuclear deterrence? And just to throw in just a third one here, just for the heck of it, as the combined nuclear arsenals of Russia and China begin to eclipse that of the U.S. in terms of numbers of warheads, will that increase the likelihood or decrease the interest of our partners or unaligned nations seeking their own nuclear deterrence? So basically, how are we stacking up against our adversaries? What are we doing to stay ahead? And what's that going to do to the stability in the rest of the world?
Thank you, Senator. As I indicated earlier, we are currently engaged in 7 weapon modernization programs at the same time. This is the most active and the highest number of weapon systems we've been producing or working on developing at one time since the height of the Cold War. That is reflective of the requirements that we get from the President, the Strategic Command, and the Nuclear Weapons Council. We are very successful up to this point in delivering. We have delivered the B-6112, the B-6113. We're on track with the W-88, which is to achieve first production unit relatively soon. We're continuing with the other weapon systems, W-87, Slocum-N, W-80-4. All of those programs represent our increased focus on the ability to ensure that the President and the warfighters have the options they need to respond to the geopolitical realities we're in. That is not to say that we are at or trying to get to parity, certainly not parity with the combined capabilities of the Chinese and the Russians, that we can deter and provide the deterrence with a flexible, effective, efficient, and reliable suite of options in our deterrence, which is what we're working on. That combined with our dedicated efforts to improve the physical condition of the nuclear security enterprise, both its production capabilities and its science capabilities that are essential to be able to design, certify, and assess the stockpile, gives us and continues to give us the edge and the confidence that we need to provide deterrence, both for ourselves and somewhat into your last point, is also the extended deterrent that we provide to our allies and our other friendly nations. And so we are rising to the challenge, but the challenge keeps rising also, and so we will continue on that path.
Let me just, out of curiosity, because we're talking about lots of demand for it, and along with fuel for our carriers and our submarines. Where are we getting our uranium? Can we talk about that in this open setting?
Yes, to a certain extent. So we need uranium for many different uses. We need unencumbered uranium in order to run reactors to produce tritium. We need highly enriched uranium to fuel the Admiral's reactors for our nuclear fleet of submarines and aircraft.
No question about the need. I guess my question is, in this open setting, and I'm not sure if we can do it or not, but where are we getting it from?
So we have enough material on hand for the near term, for both unencumbered fuel for production uses and for the Navy, but we are going to need eventually to create a domestic enrichment capability, and that the Department of Energy and the National Nuclear Security Administration are currently on a two-prong effort to do that. We have an activity going on with BWXT to produce the domestic uranium enrichment centrifuge experiment. DOOS. It's much easier as an acronym. And then we have the AC 100 also.
I didn't do a very good job of asking it, maybe. Where are we getting our uranium from? Can we talk about that in here?
Perhaps,
Admiral Houston?
Admiral, phone a friend.
Yes, Senator. We're getting it from existing stockpiles. We haven't produced highly enriched uranium since 1992. And for my program, which is the primary user, because I actually expend that highly enriched uranium because I'm using it in my reactors, we are good into the 2050s for that. But we are watching, we will need an enrichment capability, just like the weapons complex will need an enrichment capability.
Okay.
And that's part of the enterprise blueprint that's outlined by NNSA to develop that enrichment capability.
So the enrichment capabilities that we will need, we know it. We've got till 2050, but between now and then, we should be talking about it.
Absolutely, Senator, and that's going to be due to the difficulty in standing up that capability.
That's not a 5-year plan either, is it?
It is not. It is a long-term plan across there, and it's laid out in the NNSA blueprint, sir.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.